be having a lot of social pressure where we are worried about how we are seen and how we are treated. I can definitely relate to this, as it was a few months ago when I got badly rejected and I felt like it was the end to a lot of things and I did not know even what to do. You know, there was not much rationalization in my mind. I was not seeing the problem rationally, although I should have, and I was seeing it all emotionally. And when we tend to take up these problems emotionally, we tend to take it badly and we don't really know how we will actually solve it, and we don't even come to the solution. It becomes such a long-term thing which we have to do. But there's many ways in terms of how you can go and solve the situation. So there isn't a lot to be so worried about in a sense. Even just by having some basic self-rationality, some basic self-awareness, and some basic knowledge in terms of what you're dealing with, it will be a big difference. And you will even see that difference within yourself, and you'll be feeling a lot better pretty soon. Well, I'm the ways that I've dealt with the situation pretty well and that kind of helped me since I was dealing with a problem pretty badly was keeping my trust in God. By keeping my trust in God, I was able to feel like as if even if I can't fully deal with the situation 100%, at least there's going to be God because, you know, I'm a religious Muslim. I am someone who, you know, is faithful in my faith. And I do believe that God will be taking care of the situation because here's how you should be thinking about it like this. If God, in a sense, is the most beneficent, the most mightyful, and has the most mercy, why would God purposely, just for the sake of it, try to put you in a bad place? God is not putting you in this position because purposely he just wants to punish you because. There's a reason for it, and there's going to be a better plan to it. So me realizing that just because of what has happened, where it just be that I have fault that socially I am not there, or that, you know, I got rejected, it's because God, maybe God has a better plan, and that there was a reason why God allowed it for it to happen. But even if you're not Muslim, let's say if you're a religious person, the same thing could still absolutely apply in terms of what I just said prior. And also, now that I also think about all of this, it is going to be in God's control in terms of who's going to be in your life and who's not going to be in your life. It is all within the plan of God in terms of how he sees best fit in terms of who you're going to be associated with. So this is something which, knowing this, it made me feel less anxious and less worried in terms of everything which has happened for me, whereas it was just yesterday, recently, or even years prior. Because the thing is, we also have to realize that religion is not a form of control. Because we're putting our trust in God, because we're going to be faithful, it does not mean that we're just being people who have no free will. The thing is, even if you just want to follow something else, or you just don't want to follow God because you think it'll give you some sort of freedom, that's probably not really going to be the case, because the problem is you're going to most likely feel controlled by your situation anyhow. So I think it's better, at least as an alternative, for me myself, because to each their own with everyone else, it's better to feel as if you're being controlled by God, and that God is the person who is going to be the one influencing you. The thing too is that when we do prayer, it will also make our worries not too stressful. And then at the end, if you're doing prayer, that will slowly, in a sense, give you an answer in terms of what will be actually happening. And in our category, unfortunately, you may not be able to change your situation overnight, but that shouldn't be a problem. In a way, that should actually be good for you, because one of the ways in order to be successful in general is by overcoming certain challenges. By overcoming the challenge which you may be having, which could be pretty bad, it should be seen as an opportunity where you're going to be able to claim something which you weren't able to have before. And this will seem like a more meaningful accomplishment to you rather than if it was just handed to you on a silver platter. Also, even as you're planning on self-improving, which is a very honorable thing to do, one thing you should also keep in consideration too is that it's very possible that you may fail and that things may not go as well as how you want it to be, and it can go completely badly. However, that shouldn't be a problem. To an extent, if you in life will be liberated by your suffering and will just accept that that you of course will want the best, but even if something bad happens, you kind of should just accept it at the end. Because the problem is, if you're not really going to be accepting what you have at your lowest moments, it'll be hard for you to be more grateful when you even will have things much more ahead. So even just by being grateful, even if things just go poorly, that it's going to be something that will help you mentally to a large degree. By following this, based on what I just said, it is not that you should be blackpilled. That is absolutely not what I'm recommending. But where instead that like if you feel such terrible emotions, even if you feel, oh, I'm completely depressed, I'm cooked, you know, I have no hope. This will give some sort of remedy in a sense. I hope that like you will feel as if there is some sort of liberation and that there's some sort of pursuit for like you will be willing to self-improve, but at the same time you will be of course accepting that things could not be going well. I'm not gonna lie, if you're really going to be blackpilled and just be thinking in the mindset like that, you're kind of stupid anyways. There's probably something wrong with you. Because the thing is, why would you be blackpilled and just be giving up only because there's a slight probability when you haven't done anything yet, or maybe you just did a little bit? You're just going to be retreating and taking little action because you just are possibly worried that you may, you know, ruin things. You shouldn't be thinking like that at all. Because it would be like as if I just thought I shouldn't be making any videos at all because I'm going to be worried that like people will not watch it, people will be leaving hate comments, and that people will completely hate it, and that they'll try to like put me down, and that I'm going to be like the worst video creator ever, and that my videos will be completely meaningless. Because my goal, of course, is with my channel is that I'm going to be spreading good content, and I'm going to be able to document my life, document my thoughts, and be able to help people out, whoever has people who sees my videos. If I just have some irrationality that, you know, people will just not like my videos, that's not going to be helpful at the end of the day. It's kind of a dumb mindset even if you think about it. I hope you really much enjoyed the video. Leave some comments in terms of how you felt on the video. I'm of course always open to feedback, and I would like to of course hear what you think about the video or in the topic in general. Like and subscribe.